Hello, hello, everybody. Today is day 27, day 27 of my 30-day challenge. Yeah, baby. We are going full steam ahead. Just a reminder, my name is Nicole Laswell. I call myself the Inner Peace Broker, and I help people broker inner peace within themselves. I have my own private practice, I guess. It's very spiritual and energetic in nature. It's different. Um, Everybody tries to explain it, but it's one of those things where you just kind of have to go through it to experience it yourself. I work with people all over the place, all over the world, actually. We do it through Zoom mostly, but the idea is to um, help people find inner peace for themselves. I walk the path because it's what brings me joy. I still am in my embodied self, and I um, find that everything that I do works really well. And when it doesn't, I continue on the search. So I'm always, finding what else is possible in terms of how to address life in general and what to do. So this is why I created these little lives to challenge myself first and foremost to get on here and start sharing this stuff and practice. Of course, special public speaking is always good to practice, even though it's not the same thing. Obviously, it's on a computer and with a camera. And so, but today, I wanted to address the energy of courage. Um, one of the main blocks to a lot of people is fear. Fear, I would say, is if not the number one. Most of the time, that's what we start looking for, seeing what needs to be released to allow space for other things to come in. The thing is, you got to get really good at finding out what that fear is, which is, again, know thyself. So the thing about knowing thyself is that it can be very scary. So yesterday's topic was on shadow work. The reason why we do shadow work, as a reminder, is to find out what we're holding on to, because it's actually very personal to each and every one of us. This is why when I work with someone, I'm just as guidance there, but they're really figuring out for themselves. Um, the worst thing you can do is impose a belief that you have on somebody else. It doesn't feel genuine, it's not theirs. So we try to avoid that. So the same thing goes with fear. If you have a fear that's very real for you, you have to go looking for its origin. But what happens is that um, fear is uncomfortable. We don't like to be in the energy of fear. It really is a physical response. We do have the fight, flight, or freeze. That's a brand new one that they're starting to see, that some people, instead of running or fighting, they just freeze. It's a way of it's a defense mechanism, actually, and other animals in the animal kingdom have that defense mechanism. Um, but it's super important that we do that we find out what it is that we have. Is for that we need to be courageous. And it's kind of cool because when you start looking at the definition of words, I love words. Again, language was my thing. Language continues to be my thing. But when you read the definition of courage, and it says to be able to persevere, um, basically to rise up to the occasion, persevere, and withstand um, pain, suffering, fear, agony. And the whole idea is to withstand that and to be able to get past that. But you have to have the courage to stand up to that. Some of us are not courageous yet in certain areas of our lives. And that's okay, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. It just is. But it gets to a point, to a certain level, where fear takes so much energy from us that we are exhausted before the day's over, when all we do is live in that fear. So what do you do? What do I do? Whenever I'm feeling fearful, I lean into it, because I've noticed that the more fear I have about something, the more I have to look at it. so that I can overcome it, find ways to transform it, and create something even more beautiful. Like these lives, for example. I was just now live with my fabulous partner and friend, Donna Hildebrand, because we have a challenge coming up that we're offering people. It's a 21-day challenge. You get 4 phone calls with us. You get 5 messages a day from us, and a little private group that will be discussing stuff. But it's a way for us to practice how to be courageous. So let me go back a bit. Before I decided to start these Facebook Lives just for fun, I was definitely afraid of coming up here and just babbling for 30 days straight on whatever. Like, again, what do I have to offer the world? What do I know? I'm a fraud, all of these beautiful, delicious things that we all think when we think about our abilities and our skills and what we can or can't do, what we are able to do. But get someone to dare you or double dog dare you, and you're like, oh, it's on. But since the internal dialogue, when you're not telling anybody this, right, and nobody's daring you to do anything, it can be really negative, ugly actually. So, but it takes courage to shift that, so that, again, you don't the thing about fear is that it keeps you comfortable as well. It's like, no, I'm good in my bubble. I don't need to go out and do that. I don't need to grow in that direction. And again, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that either. We can't make people grow. This is all internal. This is all you. It's all you, baby. And so when you're in you, when you get to those moments where you're like, I'm done being afraid of X, Y, or Z, then you have the courage to move forward. Sometimes it takes a little longer or a little extra help to develop that courage, to withstand that pain, and to persevere in that pain and anger and whatever, really fear. To be able to do that, we have to be tired enough of being afraid, and then we also need a great support system. And this is where I had what I needed, the tools that I needed, that interesting point of view tool that is part of the challenge, that I just did, that little video that I just did with my friend, is that it changes everything, because fear, again, is just one point of view, and it's the point of view that your beautiful little mind has been telling you. But what's really funny is that your heart has been telling you something else. It's all about balance. You definitely want to have that fabulous intellect to help you when you need it to. But you also have to lead with the heart, so you can go where you need to be to create um, the most contributing energy to the world, because we all have something to offer. I don't care what disability, no disability, what color, background. We are all here, so we all have something to offer. Even the people you don't like, they have something to offer. Um, the problem is that we overthink. We overthink everything. And what is thinking? There was this in Access Consciousness, they call this thing your stinking thinking. And is really, what's interesting about thoughts is that they are things that just go out, and they're out in the ether now. And you have now just smogged the whole area around you with this negativity. And what's funny is everybody else around you notices. Have you noticed when you walk into a room and you're in a bad mood and everybody's like, this person's not in the bed, or they'll just go, what's wrong? Again, of course, your face and your facial expressions and everything. But sometimes some people don't have that. But again, the energy with which they walk into a room lets us know something's up. So, the beautiful mind that we love and that we cherish, we have given it too much power over everything, including our hearts. So, when I talked about in the description about the definition of courage and feeling your way through difficulty while wielding the power of courage is much more effective than thinking your way through anything. When I say follow the energy of joy, first of all, you have to understand what the word joy means. Um, And usually, joy is presented to you in ways that you feel happy, excited, it's deep, and it's very significant for you only. So there's gonna be certain people that bring you joy, certain things that bring you joy that aren't necessarily gonna resonate with me as joy, but they're your joy, your truth. Same thing with courage. Courage has its energy of itself. If you can kind of sit in the word courage and what that feels like. To me, in my mind, I love Lord of the Rings, so I always go there. And, thou shalt not pass, that's a little bit more bravery than courage, because with bravery he's still scared. You can really, that beast can smell that stink on Gandalf. um so thou shalt not pass, right? He still had to go through his shadow work and dark night of the soul to come out as white Gandalf on the other side. I love these analogies. um but we all have those moments where you can choose to lean into that fear with courage, trust and know that it's always going to be okay, and then expect the best. If you expect the worst, don't do that. Try not to do that. That's your beautiful mind. Go from the heart space and see where it can open up more for you. And again, this is why I bring it back to our little challenge that we're creating. We start on May 4th, by the way. So check out the video previous to this one where it says just an interesting point of view. That's what fear is in many cases. It's just an interesting point of view. And when you switch it with that tool that we'll be using, and you again walk the talk, you practice letting go of that fear, it will release. You will let it go and you will overcome it. I mean, look, I'm doing this and I'm actually having a lot of fun. More at the beginning, I was like, what the hell? What am I thinking of? Same thing with the ukulele. There's some few ukulele videos that you can find on my YouTube channel. And you can hear me just go, kind of pitchy, whatever. I was practicing, but I was deadly afraid at the beginning of that. And then it just becomes a lot more fun, a lot more fun. And then you just own it. Courage. We all need to find that energy of courage in our bodies and let it out. It is time, especially now with all of the fear that's and all the fear mongering, all the hate mongering, all that fantastic energy. We need more courage so that we can lean into those difficult moments and then change them with our energy, because then you're changing it for everybody else around you. This is not just a service to yourself, it's a service to everybody else. And I thank you. So that's it for today. I love you all so much. Again, if you don't catch me here, go check me out on the YouTube channel. Nicole Laswell is how you can search me. If you like the video, hit like. If you like the channel, subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, hit that notification bell. And yeah, be courageous. Change the world being you. Have the courage to be you completely. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm waiting on all y'all. Let's have fun. All right. Y'all have a fabulous Saturday. God bless. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Love y'all. Bye.